One of the things I do often as a magistrate judge here in Fremont County is set bond when someone is arrested on a felony. Bond is something everybody has a right to unless they've been charged with a capital offense or an offense that is punishable by death. And so whenever I set bond, I look at a number of factors that are set forth in Rule 46 of the Idaho Criminal Rules. Some of the factors that I consider when setting bond is defendant's employment status and history, the nature and extent of defendant's family relationships, defendant's past and present residences, defendant's character, reputation, any persons that agree to bring the defendant back to court at the proper time, the nature of the current charge, defendant's prior criminal record, any facts indicating the possibility of violations of the law if he's released without restrictions, and any other facts tending to indicate the defendant has strong ties to the area. Okay, River, you're in the hot seat. Here is the hypothetical fact scenario. You have a gentleman who is 40 years old. He was traveling to Yellowstone Park alone. He was pulled over in Island Park. They found methamphetamine in his car, and he is from California. He's been employed by the state of California for 20 years. He's married, has children. He does not have a prior criminal record. And you are to set bond based upon those facts. So go through the different conditions or factors and set bond for this gentleman.
So in Rule 46, Factor 1 states defendant's employment status and history. So he's been hired in the state of California for 10 years. So he has had a job. And factor number 2 says the nature and extent of defendant's family relationships. He has a family and he lives in California for his whole life. Number 3 says defendant's past and present residencies. Like I said, he's been in California his whole life, and he just came up to West Yellowstone on a trip. And factor number 4 states defendant's character and reputation. His character is good because he has maintained a job for 10 years. And factor number 5 states that the person who agrees to assist the defendant in attending court, he does not have anybody that's going to bring him to court, but he is old enough to drive to court or fly. And factor number 6 says the nature of the current charge and any limitating or agitating factors. So he was charged with possession of methamphetamine, and factor number 7 is defendant's prior criminal record. He does not have a prior criminal record, so I think he's pretty trustworthy. And factor number 8 states that any facts indicating the possibility of violations of law in defendant is released without restrictions. So what we could do is we could have him get tested every week for drugs, and if he did get tested, if he did end up positive, then we can bring him back here and set bond higher if we needed to. And factor number 9 states any other facts tending to indicate that the defendant has strong ties to the community. He does not have strong ties. He's just traveling through to go to West Yellowstone. And the last factor, factor number 10, states that what reasonable restrictions, conditions, and prohibits should be placed on defendant's activities. So what I'm going to do is have him get tested weekly for any alcohol or drugs, and if he gets tested positive, then he'll come back and we'll set bail higher. But as of right now, we're going to set bail at $15,000.